Jordan stepped through the towering gates of the prison, the rusted clang echoing ominously behind him. The weight of his conviction pressed heavily on his chest, an invisible shackle that bound him to this stark new reality. He shivered, not just from the chill of the concrete corridor, but from the disorientation that washed over him like a wave. The energy of the bustling yard beyond the walls felt foreign, filled with laughter and shouts that underscored a rawness he had never experienced. In a haze, he made his way to the processing area, glancing at the faces around him, each one marked by stories of hardship. Fear settled in his stomach as he tried to gauge the dynamics that governed this new world. For now, he chose silence, listening to the sounds, a cacophony of footsteps, distant conversations, and the haunting calls of lost hopes. This was only the beginning, and he wondered if he could ever find his place here. The oppressive silence of the prison enveloped Jordan like a thick fog, magnifying every echo of his uncertainty. Each clang of metal doors reverberated through his mind, a relentless reminder of his newfound reality. As he walked down the stark corridors, the muted shuffle of feet and the distant murmur of conversations rattled his nerves. Distant laughter and shouts from the yard resonated like ghostly reminders of lives outside, inaccessible yet achingly familiar. Jordan sat on the edge of his bunk, feeling like an observer in a world of strangers. He listened as the seasoned inmates shared whispered tales among themselves, their voices filled with a mixture of camaraderie and despair. These snippets of conversation painted a picture of survival amid isolation, revealing the complexities hidden behind hardened facades. In that moment, he understood that this silence was not just a void. It was a canvas where stories awaited liberation, and he felt an instinctual pull to add his own narrative to this tapestry of resilience. Jordan sat on the edge of his narrow cot, the fluorescent light casting a harsh glare on the page before him. As the days blurred together, he felt a growing need to articulate his thoughts, to make sense of the chaos swirling in his mind. He opened his diary and began to write. Each stroke of the pen was a release, a way to confront the tangled emotions that accompanied his confinement. He spilled his fears onto the page, fear of the unknown, fear of judgment, and the heavy weight of regret. Through the act of writing, he unearthed layers of his identity that had long been buried beneath the noise of daily life. In the quiet moments between the distant clang of metal doors and the murmurs of fellow inmates, journaling became Jordan's refuge, a sanctuary where he could explore not just the struggles of adaptation, but also the glimmers of hope that whispered to him in the darkness. Jordan sat on the cold metal chair, his heart racing as he entered the storytelling circle for the first time. Marcus, a rugged veteran with a voice like gravel, welcomed everyone with warmth that cut through the prison's chilling atmosphere. As the first inmate shared his tale of loss, a family torn apart by addiction, Jordan felt an unexpected bond forming. Each story unfurled like a thread, weaving connections among the diverse group. The echoes of laughter, pain, and humanity filled the room, reminding them all that they were more than their past mistakes. Jordan, initially an observer, gradually found the courage to share his own fears and aspirations. Each confession was met with nods of understanding, creating a safe space where vulnerability was met with empathy. This circle wasn't just about stories. It became a lifeline, stitching together fragmented lives through shared experiences, revealing the power of connection within these unforgiving walls. As the storytelling circle gathered momentum, an atmosphere of shared vulnerability enveloped the room. Inmates took turns, their voices trembling but resolute, weaving together tales that showcased the intricate tapestry of their lives. One by one, they shared their struggles and triumphs, battling the stigma that often depicted them as mere statistics. A young man recounted his childhood dreams overshadowed by a tragic spiral into addiction, while an older inmate reminisced about the family he lost due to his mistakes. Each story resonated deeply, drawing nods of understanding and empathetic gazes from his peers. In those moments, the walls of the prison seemed to fade, replaced by a collective sense of humanity. Jordan listened intently, finding pieces of himself in every narrative, their pain reflecting his own. It was here, within this circle of stories, that he began to realize the profound connections that could flourish even in the unlikeliest of places, igniting a flicker of hope within him. Jordan stood in the prison yard, feeling the weight of the sun on his back and the tension in the air. Around him, groups of inmates formed, some engaged in heated discussions, others playing cards. It was a landscape of shifting allegiances, a fractured world where trust was hard-earned and fragile. It was here he encountered Leo, a former gang member with a reputation but a newfound resolve to change. Despite the prison's stark divisions, an unexpected friendship blossomed. It transcended past affiliations and sparked genuine connection. As they shared stories of their lives, one woven in crime and violence, the other marred by regret and longing for acceptance, they discovered shared vulnerabilities that painted their individuality with strokes of humanity. In the rawness of their conversations, Jordan began to understand that even in a place marked by rivalry, there was room for camaraderie, hope, and perhaps a path to redemption. As the weeks passed, shadows of the past loomed heavy over the storytelling circle. Inmates spoke of broken homes and lost opportunities, revealing the raw, unfiltered narratives that defined their existence. One evening, as the sun dipped below the prison walls, a burly man named Carl shared his story of betrayal, how he had let down his family, driven by addiction and desperation. His voice trembled as he recounted the choices that led him here, painting a vivid picture of regret and longing. Jordan sat quietly, absorbing the weight of each confession, feeling a kinship with their struggles. Guilt wrapped around him like a shroud. He thought of his own missteps and the impact of his actions. In that moment, he realized the power of shared pain. As the circle ended, the raw honesty of their stories lingered in the air, forging an unspoken bond among those who dared to confront their demons. Hope began to glimmer faintly, light breaking through the darkness. Within the confines of the prison walls, the introduction of therapy sessions marked a pivotal shift in the lives of many inmates. Each week, a small group gathered in a sterile room, transformed by their willingness to confront the ghosts of their past. Jordan felt a mix of apprehension and hope as he took his seat among hardened faces softened by vulnerability. The facilitator encouraged openness, inviting them to share the burdens they carried. As stories poured forth, tales of lost loved ones, childhood trauma, and regrets that haunted their dreams, listeners were gripped by the raw honesty of it all. Jordan noted how the once impenetrable barriers between them began to dissolve, revealing the shared humanity hidden beneath layers of guilt and shame. He found himself writing furiously in his diary, capturing the profound insights that emerged in the room, heartened by the possibility that healing could flourish even amidst such darkness. Insights from Marcus begin to resonate deeply within the circle, illuminating the path of second chances and the redemptive power of forgiveness. As inmates share their stories, the air vibrates with a hopeful energy, underscoring the resilience found in their struggles. Marcus recounts moments of his downfall, detailing how he transformed pain into purpose. This sparks a profound realization in Jordan. He is not defined solely by his mistakes, but rather by his capacity to change. Surrounded by a tapestry of lives marked by regret, yet driven by hope, Jordan begins to envision a new life. His diary entries reflect a budding sense of possibility, charting aspirations beyond the prison walls and understanding the importance of making amends. This collective journey toward redemption fosters bonds that transcend their crimes, igniting a sense of responsibility not only to themselves but to one another, a shared quest to leave their past behind and embrace the promise of a brighter future. Highlighting the transformative power of rehabilitation, Jordan discovers a range of programs offered within the prison walls. As he walks through the facility, he becomes eager to explore opportunities that could reshape his future. He learns about vocational training in carpentry, which ignites a curiosity he never knew he had. The idea of constructing something tangible resonates deeply with him, providing a sense of purpose beyond his confinement. During a group session, peers share their experiences with education and creative arts, painting vivid pictures of newfound passions and careers awaiting them upon release. Motivated by their stories, Jordan finds himself considering enrollment, spurred by the encouragement of his friends. The prospect of acquiring skills not only ignites hope for personal growth, but fosters a collective spirit among the inmates. illustrating how shared aspirations can cultivate self-worth and a path towards reintegration into a world that awaits them beyond the bars. As Jordan settled into his routine, he found himself increasingly drawn to the figure of Mr. James, a compassionate mentor who visited the prison weekly. With an infectious enthusiasm for education and a profound understanding of the challenges faced by inmates, Mr. James quickly became a beacon of hope for Jordan. Their conversations often spiraled into discussions about responsibility, accountability, and the importance of a life lived with purpose. With each session, Jordan felt a flicker of ambition igniting within him, urging him to take control of his narrative. Inspired by Mr. James's own journey of redemption, he began to envision a future beyond these walls, a future where he could not only reclaim his identity, but also uplift others in similar circumstances. Encouraged by his mentor's belief in him, Jordan decided to enroll in a vocational training program, marking the first step toward transforming his life and redefining his role in the world. As the days blurred into weeks, Jordan found himself consumed by a profound longing for freedom. Conversations in the common room revolved around dreams and fears of re-entry, each inmate sharing their anxieties about adjusting to life outside the prison walls. For some, the idea of facing family after a long absence brought both excitement and trepidation. For others, the fear of being judged or rejected loomed larger than any hope. Jordan listened intently, absorbing the varied perspectives, but also reflecting deeply on his own transformation. Freedom now felt different, less about escaping confinement and more about grappling with the weight of responsibility that awaited him. He penned an entry in his diary, contemplating what it truly meant to be free. Freedom, he realized, was not just a physical state, but a commitment to change, to confront the challenges of the world outside with the strength forged in these prison walls. The atmosphere in the prison buzzed with a mix of anxious anticipation and reflection as Jordan counted down the days to his release. Each morning, the chill of the concrete reminded him of the warmth he would soon miss, yet he felt the pull of freedom growing stronger. Over shared meals and quiet conversations, inmates exchanged hopes and fears, recounting their plans for life outside the heavy walls that had contained them for so long. The bonds formed during their time together stood stark against the backdrop of their impending departures. Laughter mingled with tears as they reminisced about moments of connection, even amidst the struggles. Jordan found solace in knowing that he wasn't alone in this transition. With every diary entry, he focused on cultivating resilience and purpose. As he watched friends prepare for their own journeys, he realized that this was not just the end of a chapter, but the beginning of a new story, one filled with limitless potential and the echoes of redemption.